Welcome to the World News Bulletin on Myanmar International. I'm Julie Wee. Argentine Foreign Minister George Tayana warned Britain on Thursday that the South American country was willing to go to international court over offshore oil exploration in the disputed Falkland Islands, which the two countries went to war over in 1982. British oil company Rockhopper Exploration recently announced that it believed it had made an oil discovery in the North Falkland Basin, the first oil find of a controversial oil program. Tensions over the islands continue to simmer nearly 3 decades after the brief Falklands War that killed almost 1,000 people. Indications that there could be large oil resources around the Falklands have raised the stakes in the sovereignty dispute. The islands have been under British control since 1833. Wildlife advocates say BP is harming fish and wildlife with its oil cleanup method, stating that the current method of oil dispersion is bad for the environment because it creates a toxic brew of oil and chemicals. National Wildlife Federation added that this dispersion will widen the spill and can affect much more fish and wildlife in the area instead of cleaning it up. Meanwhile, the residents of Cordova, Alaska, who suffered a similar Exxon Valdez oil tanker rupture 21 years ago, voiced their concerns and worries over the oil spill incident and their counterparts in the Gulf of Mexico.
I thought about it. There's talk of maybe some of our boats, since we're trained in oil spill response, getting contracts down there. But the fact of the matter is that during the Exxon cleanup, all the workers there, I mean, the majority of them came down with life-threatening illnesses, birth defects, all kinds of cancer, and horrible things, and they never were compensated for it. It was all just shoved under the table.
Efforts to cap the well have been unsuccessful, and the slick could become one of the United States' worst environmental disasters in decades. Nigeria's acting president, Goodluck Jonathan, was sworn in as head of state on Thursday, following the death of President Umaru Yar'Adua, and will lead the country to its most fiercely contested polls since its return to democracy. Jonathan, who had already been running Africa's most populous nation while Yar'Adua was incapacitated, will appoint a new deputy. The pair will then complete the unexpired presidential term until the elections, due by April 2011. It is still unclear if Jonathan, who is from the South, will be involved in the elections, as an unwritten agreement in the ruling party rotates power between North and South, and the next 4-year term is due to go to Yar'Adua's Muslim North. A store surveillance video has surfaced reportedly showing the Times Square bombing suspect, Faisal Shahzad, buying fireworks at a store a couple of months earlier. The video from Sancton Fireworks shows a man believed to be Shahzad buying fireworks from one of the company's stores in Pennsylvania. However, a Sancton Fireworks official said that the fireworks were not strong enough to make a powerful bomb. Shahzad faces terrorism and weapons charges in New York after authorities say he admitted to rigging a sport utility vehicle with a crude bomb, based on the explosives training he received in Pakistan. The Pakistan Taliban says it has no links with Shahzad and learnt only through the media of his training at the militant camp in Waziristan. Brazilian, Australian and British tourism authorities met in Rio de Janeiro on Thursday to discuss the Olympic Games and sign cooperation agreements between the host cities. Brazil's tourism minister, Luiz Barreto Filho, and directors of the country's national tourism agencies attended a seminar at a hotel at Copacabana Beach to share experiences and debate means of increasing tourist activities during the large sport events. With an estimated 380,000 tourists expected to flock to Rio during the 2016 Games, concerns have been raised over the shortage of rooms, the use of cruise ships docked in rundown port areas for accommodation, security and lack of infrastructure. Tiger Woods buried memories of his Quail Hollow nightmare last week as he ground out at a 2-under par 70, while fellow American J.B. Holmes and Australian Robert Allenby took joint control of the Players' Championship on Thursday. 14-time major winner, Woods recorded 3 birdies and a lone bogey to end an opening round of low scoring, 4 strokes behind the pace-setting Holmes and Allenby. Holmes took advantage to set the early pace, while Allenby moved 1 stroke ahead of Holmes, with 7 birdies in his first 13 holes, before he ran up a 3-putt bogey at the par 3 8th. And that's the end of the world news on Myanmar International. I'm Julie. Thanks for watching.